Hello, everyone there. Hello, world. Another Saturday here with Ellie Naimal at Temper Africa TV. So today, we like to hit you with a really interesting topic. This based on an everyday life and that some of us go through in our daily life every day. So we're going to talk about single parenting, and I have a special guest with me who's going to tell me a lot about her story and how she went through it, raising her children by herself, being a single mom. Truly inspiring. And when I said truly inspiring, like you have moms starting from nothing, or even fathers too, that are raising their kids by themselves from nothing, from scratch, and giving the best in all your ability that you can for your children to become successful or to become whoever they want to be in the world, basically success. So I want to invite our guest today, Nyapai Kek. She lives here in Minnesota, so let's introduce her really quick. And we're so honored to have her here today. She's an amazing, phenomenal woman, very strong, and I've watched her story. I've watched her, go through it. I may not know deeply a lot about her, but I'm also on the same learning with all of you as well, because we all have our struggles, our shadows, and things that we go through. So, Nyapai, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
How do you feel today?
A little nervous. A little nervous, but I think I can manage. I've never done this kind of setting before, but it's all good.
I mean, you can only be you.
Exactly.
There's no one else in this world but you, only you.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
You know, I definitely want us to share a lot of what we go through. I mean, these are realities. These are real. People go through it, and a lot of time they don't really know if that's a reality or if that's just like I'm unfortunate or like why is this happening to me. Right. And that's why we want to keep telling you guys these stories, is to let you know that they are real life story. We have obstacles, we have hurdles to jump, but we also have successful stories at the end if we never give up and be consistent. So please, let's start. Tell us about your story. Tell us about who you are. Where did it all begin?
Well,
maybe a little bit of your childhood.
Okay.
Tell us your childhood.
So I was born in Ethiopia. Both of my families are from South Sudan, but we immigrated here in '95 with my aunt and uncle, Omaha, Nebraska. Okay. So that's where I've been raised. That's where I know a lot of my family members.
Wait, how old did you say you were when you came?
I was about 8 years old when I came.
Oh, you were so little.
I know. I was so young.
So you pretty much started your whole school life.
Yeah. And then, I didn't know no English at all whatsoever. I think I knew Amharic and Noor.
You were better than me. At least you knew Amharic, the national language. Yeah. So that's good.
We started.
Do you still remember any of it?
Not Amharic, but I know Tungnuara. Yeah. It's just because my aunt and uncle spoke it at home. Yeah. So when we go to school, we spoke English, but then when we came home, it was Noor. But then I forgot Amharic. So.
For all of our people out there, just so you guys know, Kane Noor. So tune in. So good as well.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's where it all began, Omaha, Nebraska. So that's home. Yeah.
And I remember those days, like, I would run into you once in a while, and it was mostly in Omaha, because I go to Omaha, like, once in a while,
right?
And, I mean, we were a lot of young girls, like, that didn't have parents, really.
Yeah. We were
just trying to live it off each other.
Around, trying to figure out life is what it was. We were trying to figure out what life was about. So... Yeah.
So when did you decide to move to Minnesota? Or what was the change there?
I moved to Minnesota in 2010. And I've been here since then. Yes, I have not moved anywhere else. So, and I like it here. It's a really great state. My kids love it here. The boys, more importantly. Yeah. So
Would you consider yourself more Omaha or more Minnesotan?
I think I like Minnesota, just for the simple fact that I'm more busy. You know, I'm more consistent with the boys and what they're doing. Maybe it has a lot to do with me not knowing a lot of people here. So compared to if I was to if I was in Omaha, I know everyone, all the corners.
Everybody wants you for this, they want you for that. Yeah, I remember those phone calls. Girl. Like there was always something happening.
Exactly. There's always parties,
house parties, basement parties. Oh my goodness. Those were the days.
It was crazy. So I like it here a lot. I'm very focused here. I think. So.
And I totally agree with that because Minnesota is like a place where you can really settle and raise children. I mean, it's very well known for that. One of the really good high pay states as well. Except they're kind of strict sometimes too with their like laws and especially road ranges. They're very strict with roads. So you'd be a good driver.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a best place to raise children.
It really
and that's what we're going to talk about today. Living in an area or a complete different state where you don't have your relatives or your friends close by to even help you or, you know, watch your kids when you have an emergency or sick days and things like that. And those are the things that, you know, that a lot of people do question about single parenting. And was like, how do you do it? Because your child gets sick, you get sick, or like you have to be at work. Because I know at jobs, like nowadays, there's really no sick days. You know, you have to be at work at all time unless you collect PTO. And if you don't have enough, then you're kind of
screwed
on a juggling, moments and stuff.
Yeah.
So tell us where it all start here in Minnesota. Your journey into your job, career.
I graduated from college in 2016, actually.
2016,
yes. And coming here in 2010, you know, where I came from, it was a lot going on. And I wanted to just move around and, you know, start my life all over as far as eliminate the negativity. You know, at the time, I had 2 boys. So I moved here to Minnesota, found out I was pregnant with my now 8-year-old.
Wow.
So his name is King. Yeah.
So this journey started 8 years ago.
Yes, so 8 years ago, and it's been the best move that I've made in my life. Yeah.
Well, tell us some of the things you were going through.
I was going through, well, it all started coming here to, you know, Minnesota. Mind you, I've never rode in a bus, public transportation.
Really?
So my experience was that it was horrible.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
At the time, my oldest was old enough, he was taking the bus. And then I had to learn my way around because I'm so used to having a car. And moving around whenever I want.
Yeah.
And I've never really used the public transportation.
And this is why you were pregnant.
This is why I was pregnant. And then my now 11-year-old, I think he was like maybe like 3 or 4. So mind you, I had this big belly.
Still a baby.
Yeah, I had this big belly, and I'm in the I had no idea where I was going at all. I was living in St. Paul then. Took the bus. I was going down to downtown St. Paul.
Yeah.
I ended up in Minneapolis. No clue at all what I was doing or where I was at, you know. But
just completely took the wrong route.
Yeah, but as the time progresses, you know, I learned the route to take, what time, the schedule, so I became very aware of that. But it was
I totally
crazy.
know what that is like.
Yeah,
like I think for me, it got to the point where I literally know all the routes by heart.
It was crazy. I'm telling you, it was
by
crazy.
Heart.
And then too, like, I started taking taxi, and I didn't have any money then.
Yeah, and taxis are expensive.
Yeah, and people were laughing at me like, this is not New York. This is Minnesota. You can't be taking taxi like that. And I'm like, well, I don't want to get lost, but I got used to it, you know. And I'm here, and
one thing I do like about Minnesota, they have really good metro system. Yes. Like they can get you from point A to point B and be on time, and there's just a lot of buses. Like even in the far south suburb now, like you know, Lakeville, Burnsville, they have metro buses as well. Even little towns like St. Cloud, Mankato, they have metro buses. So if you're a single mom and you don't have a car, like metro bus is really convenient. It really does get the job done. I mean, it's got to be hard, you know, having a 3-year-old and
and being
And
pregnant.
how old was the other one at the time?
RJ was about 7
Oh,
6 or 7, yeah. But
so
he was
still
still young, but
Yeah.
it was a storm. Let me tell you that it was a storm because I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know where I was at. I didn't have any family around, so it was just pretty much me and my children.
Yeah.
But we overcame it. We're still here.
Wow.
Going strong. Everyone is good, healthy. So yeah.
Well, how did how did the changes transition from riding the buses, and where were you staying at the time?
Well, I was staying in St. Paul.
Yeah.
So the thing with that is the person that I was staying with at the time, they didn't have a car either.
Oh, okay, so there wasn't that much support.
Exactly.
Either
there wasn't any support, and they had a job.
Yeah.
So either I learned my way around, or I just sit around and nothing happens.
You really kind of had to figure everything out on your own.
Everything out on my own.
Yeah.
And then with that too, once you're in a place where you're frustrated and feel like everything is not going the way it's supposed to go,
or everything's hitting against you.
Exactly. You started to, learn so much about yourself.
Yeah.
You started to learn about strength that you never thought
that had.
Yeah. It's crazy. I love it, and I'm glad I went.
Oh, I didn't know I could hop into buses.
Yeah, now I'm a pro. Tell me where you need to go, and I'll direct you. I'll tell you.
When I was
which
doing
bus
modeling, I was like, okay, I know what time this bus is gonna come. I know what time this train is gonna come. I'm in my heels. My kids are somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm running, trying to catch it on time. The door's about to close. I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm going in.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
It really teaches a lot. And and things like these are what are the abilities that we learn about ourselves. Because the stronger survives, you guys. That's pretty much how the world is kind of fixed. So, all right, so you were going through this pregnancy, and you were how far along?
I was about 5 months.
5 months?
Yeah, 5 months or so. Yeah, 5 months. And then at 5 months, my stomach is out there.
Wow.
And so you see this tiny little short, because I stand at 5'4". So you do this little short girl with a
short,
big
you guys.
belly. I'm 5'4" and a half. So
yeah.
No.
Kind of exaggerating a little bit. I think I'm short too. I'm just laying right here because I'm really short.
But
as well.
So you see this little lady with a big old belly with a 3-year-old on her hand, but it was.
What kind of jobs were you doing then?
At the time, I was working at Macy.
Yeah. Ooh, the big fashion.
Yeah, because we had left where we was living, and we went to a shelter. We stayed at the shelter about 3 months, and that's when I got the job. Went to Macy's, applied for a job, went for an interview. Had my coat on because I didn't want them to see my stomach. Because I hide it a little. Yeah, because I felt like if they see my stomach, they would be like,
wouldn't hire you.
We don't want to hire you.
Yeah.
So I got hired on. They hired me as security, you guys. Security. The person who watches for anybody.
And that's a hard job for anybody to take.
Girl.
Or to get, actually. Yeah.
So I got hired on. First day of work came. My little belly was out there. My belly was out there. And they're like, oh, you're pregnant. I'm like, yeah, rubbing my belly.
Literally caught them off guard.
I'm like, and they can't fire me because they already hired me.
They already hired you, yeah.
Yeah, even if they did fire me because I'm pregnant, that's a lawsuit.
Yeah, it's a stereotype.
Yeah. So,
but I totally get you though, because some people they're like, oh, we'll let you know, and then they let your file sit there. Yeah. So you played it really smart.
I was smart. I was very smart.
I'm so proud of this girl. That's how you played the game, okay? If you could get any highest job.
Yeah. And then with that too is like, you can get any job that you want, but what you're representing or how you're selling yourself at the interview
is
how you go about the job.
Yeah.
You can talk about the job, and then the thing with me is,
tell us how you played it off.
When
I gotta hear this. How did you play this off?
well,
Like,
I went.
okay, so you had your belly covered, so
had
they
my
couldn't really
belly-
notice anything.
Yeah, and it was a security job, so they can went in, you know, sat down like a normal person. They asked me questions, started selling myself. I did this, I did that. This is what I can bring to the company, A, B, and C.
Exaggerated a little bit more,
Yeah,
right?
so
okay.
yeah, and I got the job, and we moved out of the shelters, me and the boys.
Good job.
Yeah. And the shelters too, the thing with that is they are all about you. They are about helping you and making sure when they do help you get out of that little, you know, space that you're always so used to. They don't just push you out of the shelter and be like, okay, well, your time is up. It's time for you to go.
Oh,
they
okay.
actually
So they
help-
were patient.
They were patient,
And they were
then they
gracious as
also,
well.
yeah, and they
Oh,
also
that's
help
good,
with the
'cause
first
there's not
month
a lot of shelter that does
at
that.
all. And then they also help with the first month rent, their deposit, and all of that. So I was very, very thankful. Like,
Wow.
truly, God was on
No,
my
God
side
heard you.
through it all. Like,
Yeah.
even until today. So, very
God was
thankful.
watching,
I'm
like, oh,
very
I see this
thankful.
girl hopping from this bus to this bus to this bus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand with her.
I was not giving
You know?
up. Giving up was not an option for me.
Wow,
Because
good
I
for
have
you.
two little kids looking up.
Yeah,
Like, I was the only thing that their hope.
and you weren't gonna settle
You know,
for less.
No, I was not.
Yeah.
So that's how.
Good
I
job on
started.
a security job with the belly.
I'm
That's what you call mom. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, you can.
So
you
it was
can-
like after you got the job and now you got your place,
After I
and
got
this
the-
is where it all began.
So after I got the job,
Mhm.
I didn't work there anymore. So then I got another job at an interpreting agency.
Mm.
You know, and then again, I sold myself. I was an interpreter for Tugnat, my language, which is Noor, and I'm not really familiar with the terms and stuff, and stuff like that. But I was doing it. I was making money. I don't know how, but it.
Did you get a lot of requests interpreting
No,
that?
not really. It wasn't a lot of. It's not a lot of our community here.
Oh, okay, that's
You
true.
know.
Yeah.
So every time a request would come through for the language that I spoke, then I would go out. But then they end up hiring me to become a full-time scheduler with them
Oh.
as well. That way, I was.
What did you do?
I'm telling you, it was just. I don't know. It was just. I look.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got a full-time becoming a scheduler there. And then that was also a struggle too, because I didn't have a babysitter then. I didn't have a car.
Yeah.
But then luckily where I worked, it wasn't that far away from my house. And I worked the third shift. So when I didn't have a babysitter, me and my kids, imagine me and my 3 children walking at night to go to this office.
Wow.
And then we would take blankets, and because it was only me in the office.
Oh,
we would
okay.
take
wow,
blank-
so you would have them with you.
Yeah, I would lay down a blanket, put them in like a little office. They would
Yeah.
sleep, and then
Yeah.
I'm working. And then in the morning, when someone comes to replace me,
Yeah.
I'm lying and telling them, oh, you know, a family member just dropped them off. They have to work. Because I didn't want to lose my job for bringing the kids there.
Oh, wow.
So,
you had to
yeah,
play
it-
your mind game
Girl-
there again, too.
Yeah, it was.
I admire you for that. I really
you
do.
got to think outside the box sometimes to get to where
Yeah.
you need to be. Like, you can't just sit around and wait for someone to come and save you. No.
Mhm.
Even with that, like, God said, I will be there for you, but
Yeah.
you need to be willing to put in the work. I will guide you
Amen
and
to
help
that.
you with that.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
so, yeah, that's how we're here now. So, yeah.
That is so motivating.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have never thought of that, you know?
If
like,
you were in that, you know,
Mhm.
at that time, if you were in that or whatever the
Yeah.
situation is, I'm pretty sure you would figure out a way to get out of
Yes.
it, or a way
Oh,
to make sure that
absolutely.
your kids are.
Because I do believe as well, like, you know, knowledge is there. When you're, like, you know, like God said, ask, it will be given, seek, you will find it.
Absolutely.
You know? So when you're already asking that question, like you're at work overnight and who's going to watch my kids?
Right.
And then the answer comes to you where this is the only way you can do it. And if somebody asks, this was your only way
Yeah.
out to explain
That
it,
was,
you know?
Yeah.
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 So that is key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I stayed there for 6 years, and then the thing with that is the guy that owned the place, he
Yeah.
was very supportive.
Oh,
Like we
that's good.
became really good, you know, friends. Very supportive. Anything I needed.
And it's not easy to find good people like that.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's really not.
It's
So to
literally
the
has to be
point
like
where,
God changed their hearts.
you know,
yeah.
I eventually told him about what was going on, my kids, and he didn't have a problem with it.
Wow.
Like he started, you know, asking me if he needs to get an air mattress. So when I know it's
Oh my
it's
God.
beautiful.
So
Yeah.
you ended up getting more than
Yeah, more blessing on top
Yeah.
of blessing. So
that is
Yes, ma'am.
amazing.
yes.
Whew.
I know.
God is good. I gotta
Amen.
admit. All right, we're gonna take a short break and we'll be right back for more inside stories of single parenting. Stay tuned.
Hi, it's me again, Korma Agustak-Meyer. I'm here today to tell you more about Tempo Africa and how you can contribute. As you know, Tempo Africa is a station that services people of African descent and people in America, people in Africa. It's all over the globe. And for us to do that, we are always accepting donations. To donate, you can go to the website at tempoafrictv.com, and then you click on the home page and then click on PayPal donation, and you can make your donation there. You could also call in and make a donation. The number is 612-804-0295. I cannot tell you how grateful we are for your donation. Please take the time and check out the website and feel free to donate to this wonderful service that Tempo Afrique continues to offer us abroad and at home. All this information is on the website. Just go to tempoafrictv.com and you will get more information. Thank you very much.
All right, we're coming back. Here I am with Nyapai Kek. So we just covered her early story of how she started off with her life and has her life changing and transitioning. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the transition part. So tell us a little bit more about your children's.
Well, I have 3 beautiful boys.
Yeah?
RJ, Trey, and King.
RJ, Trey, and King.
Yes.
And they're how old now?
RJ is 16. King is 8, and then Trey is 11.
16-year-old, you guys. 16-year-old.
I had him young, so.
She's been doing this. Now she's raising a 16-year-old and she's
Yeah.
still young.
Yeah.
Young and fabulous.
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you keep your face like, okay,
That's enough.
you know? You stress out so much sometimes about
You
kids
do.
that you start getting wrinkles.
Yeah.
And there was this saying that I used to hear that, all the stress of like the families, not just the children. I mean, like even for married couples, like your husband may stress you out more than your children's. I don't know. And then you start popping gray hair.
Oh
here
my
and there.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
It's- I don't even
I mean, you
know.
look good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You look
I don't-
good.
I would say my remedy, or I don't know. Before I didn't really didn't have anyone to watch the boys because they were young.
Yeah.
So I'm like always with them. But now that they're a little bit older,
Yeah.
I know how to give me my me time and just kind of do me.
Yeah.
You know, I could never do that at the house because it's always knock on the door. Mom, I need you. Mom, there's something in my eye. Mom, I'm bleeding. So, you know, I always just.
It's almost like the hardest stage of parenting is when you have to seek to others for help. And that's when they're still young, under age of 12,
Yeah.
basically. Because by law in America, you have to be at least 12 years old in order to be able to babysit here and there.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
So how was that transition like when once they finally hit that stage where you don't have to run to anyone anymore? And you're
Right.
just
It was a relief.
I bet.
You know, it was a
huge
relief because now my oldest can watch his siblings without me bothering anyone to watch my children.
Yeah.
And nowadays too, you can't just ask anyone to watch your children with everything that's going on, the abuse, the neglect.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to trust anyone. So now I can breathe a little more and do what I want to do, what I've always wanted to do. You know, as far as, you know, getting my own cleaning business. That's something that I always wanted to do, be my own boss and have people work for me instead of working for someone
Boss
else.
mom, I like
And,
that.
and building someone's empire when I can build my own, you know. So I can do that now with the business. They are always with me, helping, you know, even with my two youngest. And then the thing with that is you got to, like, plant a seed in their mind that here in America, in order to survive, you can't work for someone else. You got to get something of your own. You got to have a business. You got to make your own money.
I see.
You know, that's how you're going to get ahead here in America.
Yep.
And that's what I've been telling the boys. You know, we have weekly meeting. Thursday we have taco night where we're just coming together, playing games, and just they're telling me about girls. With my babies.
And we just had a Valentine's Day a few days ago. Wait, was it yesterday or the day before?
No, it was yesterday, Friday.
It was yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yesterday was Valentine's Day. So tell us your first Valentine's Day experience with your son, 16-year-old.
Yeah, so my 16-year-olds, we're very close. And it's nothing, you know, easy. I have to literally constantly talk to him and let him know, hey, it's just you and me. I support you in whatever you do. I'm here for you. Whatever you need, I am your biggest fan. You know, clearly his dad is not around. So with that, I have to put myself into that manly mode. Not so much into that, but educating as far as sex. You know, he's 16. He's gonna be curious.
And she has all boys, you guys.
I have all three boys.
Yeah.
You know, he's you know, sex education. So I had to, like, get into that, and I want him to wait until, you know, marriage or whatever.
We all say marriage, yes.
But I know that's not
realistic nowadays.
Yeah, realistic.
Too. Yeah.
So I just told him, whenever you come to that, let me know at least so I can get you some protection to protect yourself.
Oh, okay.
You know, and he's into basketball. He's doing really good with school. And
so your main advice you would mostly tell your son is protect yourself at all times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then the thing with that is he's into sport. He loves sport. He's playing varsity. He's a captain at his high school. So
look at him go.
Yeah. Anytime he get in trouble or anytime he does something he's not supposed to do, I'm cutting away basketball, and he gets it right away.
This is the kind of mom that has a foot on the ground.
Yeah, and that's the thing with, you know, starting your kids young to finding something that they love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That way, later on in life, if they were to step out of whatever it is, if they were to hang out with the wrong kids and stuff like that, you can always take that away.
So when God said teach them young so that they can be able to come back when they get older.
Exactly. So my first Valentine with my child, so he has a girl, and there's a girl that he's talking to, he told me, and we it's like a different stage, because at first he would hide stuff from me, but then I'm like, well, I've been there. You can't hide nothing from me. If you try to hide it, I will find out, and you're in trouble.
So you could tell. I like to see that reaction,
So
you know,
now,
seeing your child come in.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, I pay his phone bill, and I have full control of what.
Oh, okay.
I can control that. I can see who he's texting, what he's texting.
Oh.
So then now we're more close, where if he likes a girl, if a girl likes him, he comes to me and tell me. Like, we text, I give him advice. First Valentine's, he wanted to go get a.
That is really good.
Yeah. So we're very close. All three of my kids, very close. I'm like their big sister. I'm not.
I like
their
that
mom,
because you're
their big
open to
sister.
them and you give them options.
You have to.
Children are very smart. They're very smart because when you don't give a child an option, then they're like, well, fine, highway or the low way, you know? Yeah. And when you listen to them and you're gonna tell them, like, you know, it's okay, we all make mistakes. And
and then the thing with that is when you are, like, as a parent, when you're wrong, it's very important that you let your kid know.
You let your kid.
Hey, I'm sorry.
I like that.
That was wrong with me. What I just did, whether it's just yelling at them for something that they did. Hey, I'm sorry. That was not the right way to handle it at all. Going forward, I'll try to talk to you more about it instead of reacting the way I reacted. and that's given them security, like more trust.
I hope you guys catch this, because this is the most important
Yeah.
thing we have to get out of our prideness.
important.
Is apologizing to our children
Yeah.
when you're wrong.
When you're wrong, absolutely. That's big in my house, and they know that, and now they trust me. They don't hide anything
Yeah.
from me,
Mhm.
you know. So yeah.
They don't have to go sneaking around.
Yeah, at all.
Or sneak girlfriends in the window.
Oh no, never that. No, they're very open with me.
Yeah.
And how that I got that started is growing up. I didn't have that.
Yeah.
You know, my I didn't have that support system. I didn't have anyone that I can go to and talk to about
Yeah.
being a teenager or having a boyfriend or, you know, sex. I didn't have that. I didn't feel comfortable with my guardians at the time. So taking that, and now that
Who raised you at the time?
my aunt and uncle.
Your
who
aunt
raised
and uncle.
me.
Okay.
That's who I came.
So neither
to
one of your
America with.
parents were around.
No. So
Yeah.
I took that and I play with it, and me and my boys are very close.
So there's one question I'm always curious about, and this is kind of something I've been going through myself as well, because I have a 12-year-old who's now hitting the preteen age. And, you know, what do boys go through at this stage, knowing that they don't have their father in their life?
That's a good question, actually.
You know? Because, like, there were times, you know, my son just, like, reacted in anger, and you know, like when nobody understood his side of the story or heard his side of the story, or felt like it was an unfair situation, because it's like, oh, they're blaming me for everything and they're letting the other guy go for free. And you know, my talk with him all the time would be like, not everyone is always going to believe you. Not everyone is always going to listen to your story. But know that you have me. I'm always going to stand with you for as long as you tell me the truth, you know? And so it was still a worry thing to me, but I know we shouldn't, you know, when we give our children to God, you know, we allow God to also help us raise them in our best ability, and we'll be there for the fatherless, and I praise Him for that. But it still concerned me enough that you still act out in a certain behavior, or, you know, teenage age is like a stage of confusion and anger and finding out yourself, going through all these different stages and things like that. And do you think that that's generally a normal thing, or some kids do that because they don't have the other parent in their life?
Well, I think with that, when my oldest first became a teenager, he started staying in his room more, and, you know, doing what a teenager would. But then I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I was like,
and I kept hearing that a lot too.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what
so-
teenagers do. They just stay in their room.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I keep worrying. I'm like, I would go back and forth to his room, like, hey, are you okay? Is something bothering you? Do you want to
Yeah.
talk about it? He's like, no. Then I started worried and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But then I have other moms who've been through it.
Yep.
And, you know, I would ask them, they're like, oh, it's normal, just give him a space.
That's what I hear too.
Yeah, it's like, just give him a space. But the
Just
thing
give
with
him
that
space.
is,
Mhm.
like, I don't want to give him too much space.
Yes.
You know, I want to let him know I'm here for him
Yeah.
when he needs me. But
Mhm.
then at the same time, if he's acting out, like how your son was doing, I would
Yeah.
just say, give him space.
Mm.
You know, it's not so much of the other parent. It has somewhat to do with it. Because
Yeah.
if the other parent hasn't been around for a while,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, I have a
But
dad.
do you think they question that at
Oh
that
yeah,
stage?
absolutely, absolutely.
okay.
They do question it, especially if they're playing a sport or at an event, and everyone else, parents were there, two parents, mom and dad, and
Yeah,
you
they
know,
would
your
see
child
that
only
and-
see you.
Yeah.
That could kind of mess with their head a little bit, but then it comes back to you as a parent, letting them know that, you know, it's fine, you know, like.
So how do you comfort your child in those things?
You just kind of talk to them, honestly.
Just keep talking to
Just
them.
keep talking to them, and then eventually they will get it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing really that you can do but talk to them and tell them that you love them.
Yeah.
Show that you love them, support them,
And that
that
you're
does
here
go a
all the
long
time.
way. Yeah, yeah. I remember when
And I'm glad I did that, because after I did had a conversation with
Yeah.
my son, it changed.
my oldest, when he was playing, when he started playing basketball, like anytime I would go somewhere to go get coffee, he's constantly calling me, Mom, the game's about to start. Where are you? Mom, the game's about to start. Where are you? I'm like, go ahead and start the game without me, you know?
Yeah.
We had that relationship, and it comes with
That's
the
beautiful.
talking.
Yeah.
It comes with the talking, letting them know I'm here for you. Like, I can't fix that your other parent is not here.
So that silent stage is what caused that confidence
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
that I can trust my mom with anything,
Yep, exactly. With anything. With anything.
even with a girlfriend.
Yeah, even with the girlfriend. Even with the girlfriend. So
I'm so proud of you.
yeah, I'm trying. You know, I didn't know.
You know,
all the
I
stuff.
learned a lot today. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, my kid turned 12 last fall, and now it's like, it's a new stage,
Mhm.
you know? And these are the things, you know, I'm so glad you're sharing this with everyone today, because I'm sure a lot of, you know, our millennial age who are now starting to have teenage kids, and especially if you never had parents before, like you kind of grew up on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what parenting is like now. This is what's going on. And you're setting up a wonderful example.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's like, soon as your child start closing the door and be silent and not talk to you, keep checking on them, give them
Yeah,
space,
Give them space.
And-
Spaces. Yeah.
and keep talking to them.
Absolutely. Yes. So
16-year-old about to go to NBA very soon.
it's crazy, and it's not so much about
Yeah.
him going to the NBA, but if he can get a full scholarship to go to school
Any
and get his
school.
education without
Yeah.
no loans or whatnot, oh, praise God! Like,
Well, he's going to be successful.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's where we're heading. I want them all to be successful.
Yeah.
Because they see me and they know that I'm a hard worker.
Yeah.
And I keep telling
They
them.
look up to what you do every day.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
keep telling them anything that you put your mind to,
Mhm.
anything at all,
Yeah.
whatever it is you want to be, and you
Yeah.
work hard at it, and you keep manifesting, and you know it, and trusting God is a big part of it.
It
Through your
is.
walk.
100%.
You could be anything that
Yeah.
you want. Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
I believe.
You know, like God said, obedience start from home
Mm-hmm.
before you start go teaching other people or anything outside of your home. Obedience starts at your home,
Yeah.
because what you do at your home will also reflect on your children's.
Absolutely. Yes.
The things they accomplish, the things they, you know, go through will reflect on all that you have done for them.
Yes, for sure.
Wow.
That's true. A true statement right there.
How does that make you feel as a mom? Like,
It
I know it could be a little overwhelming,
It
you know,
is.
like
It's
being a
little-
mom and
yeah, it's a little
see-
overwhelming, especially when you have relatives, but they're not as involved in your kids' life. Like I want
yeah.
my kids. My grandma raised me. You know what I mean? My grandma was my mom. I love that lady to death, and I wish my kids could have that same love
Yeah.
that my grandma had for me.
Yeah.
But with how America is, everyone
Yeah.
in their own little world.
Is your grandma was in Africa or
Yeah,
here?
she's in Ethiopia now.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in Ethiopia,
Wow.
and sometimes like it just get I don't know, it just gets sad.
No,
That-
I totally get what you're saying on that.
Yeah.
You know, there's like the saying is an African proverb. I may not say it orderly or exactly the order, but children need their grandparents because the word of the wisdom that they have passes on to their grandkids.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's how you have children who are. I'm not sure exactly how it affects children that much, but I know with grandparents they get to that age where it's just them. They don't have much to do, so somehow the children and the grandparent they connect. Because you as the middle guy, you're too busy trying to provide for the kids, for the family, and you know, doing everything at once, being a full-time mom, full-time employee, full-time business owner. And then you're also dealing with grandparents who are constantly calling you and saying, oh, you know, can you help me with this? Can you do
Yeah.
this? Because they don't have much to do
Exactly.
at that age anymore. So that's what I mean, like the grandparents and the children, they connect very well. The children will always ask for grandparents, the grandparents will always ask for grandkids, and that's how it should be, you know?
Yes.
I mean, nowadays in this generation, grandparents are dressing up looking flashy and putting on their next hot dress. Well,
they have a life too.
You know?
They want to party too. They want to do this and do that. And I feel like once my kids, I told my kids this, I'm like, if you once like when you started having children, I want to be that grandparent where I'm always having my grandkids. But it's a long,
which is fine. But the grandparent that I see nowadays, it's like if you're going to a church, take your grandchild. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
If you're going to another grandparent tea party and you have a daughter, take her to that tea party. You know, but grandparents, either the traditional way, they either spend all day at church. They're too busy serving other people than their own family, you know? Like my experience with that, you know, of course, my children's have both grandparents from my side and from the dad's side, you know? My side, of course, no problem, you know? They ask for their grandkids almost every weekend, and, you know, it's going slowly as it should, you know? But then I have this other grandparent where probably only 3 times a year is when they ask for their grandkids. If I needed help or if I needed, you know, like, thank God when you said, like, it's a relief once your kids grow up, you know, then it's like now you will finally really get to see if they really are there for you or you were just making them at the time, you know? And at this stage is like, okay, if you're only going to pop up 2 or 3 times a year, these kids don't even remember you.
Right, exactly.
And they don't ask for you. You know? Yeah. And it's going to be a sad reality because that conviction is going to come to them once they're in their, you know, disability bed or going through the nursing age stage, you know? Yeah. But
not only that too, like if those grandparents are only seeing their kids like 3 times out of 3 years or whatever, when they do come around and want to get the kids, like those kids will resent you for making them go with those people that they barely even know. You know, sometimes they don't want to go. Like with my children now, they can make their own decision. You know, like if their dad comes around out of the blue moon and say, "Hey, I want to take you," they're like, "No, we have games." So. Well, maybe next week or something. And
that's where, because now they're facing the children, not the parent anymore.
Exactly. So now I'm not the bad guy anymore. You can hear that from your kid mouth. Like, they don't want to go. I have games. Very responsible, too. You know, with them being in sport and not only teach them, like...
And they can't blame anyone but themselves.
No, absolutely not. And that's where it hurts. But
fathers, grandparents, if you're not in your children's life, be there for them. Don't wait until they are capable of taking care of themselves.
Exactly.
Because once they hit that stage, it's too late.
It's no turning back.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so proud of you. Now, okay, so you're an entrepreneur. You do your own business. You're busy going to basketball games all the time.
Constantly going to basketball games.
Wow.
You know, even when I was going to college and only my oldest was playing, I'm taking him to his games. I have a backpack. I have 2 other ones here. I'm sitting around with my laptop doing homework, and I'm over there cheering for my child. You know, but just
being you.
But just your present, being there. Oh my God, it's it's a beautiful thing.
There's no greater gift than being a parent.
And then being a single mom. There's a lot of pros and cons to it, you know, but it's such the most
it'll be worth it.
It's the most
I mean, look at it now, starting from when you were getting that job at Macy with your belly to now running to basketball games.
Exactly.
You know?
And now everybody get ready on their own. I'm the Uber driver. I'm the taxi driver. I drive everyone around. You know, I don't have to pick out no clothes for nobody. The boys are very independent. They know what to wear, what not to wear. They want their hair a certain way. So it's like, sure. You know? Sure.
I thought about that stage. I was like, you know, you become the Uber driver.
Yeah.
You're driving to here,
Everyone
you're driving to
around.
here, especially depending on how many kids you have.
Yeah, I'm
you're
driving.
constantly on the road.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
with that too, with my walk, I met a lot of people who became my family.
Oh,
People
yeah.
that are not even blood, but
Yeah.
through my walk, they became family to me.
Yeah.
Like as far as coaches, if I can't take one to practice,
Yeah,
I
they'll
have to take the
help.
other one. They will help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Amen.
they became my family.
Yeah.
As far as with encouraging me when I'm down,
Mhm.
or just hey, let me come take the kids and take them out for ice cream. You can, you know, yeah. So it's
And it just feels good.
it feels so good, and
You know?
and then again it goes back to my family.
Yeah.
Not being there, but a total stranger is being there for me.
It's being there for you.
You know,
Yeah.
that's so. I'm very
You
grateful.
snooze, you lose.
Right?
That's really all we can say. You know, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
A human being is a human being. So,
Absolutely.
and you know, another thing too, like in our culture, I know people don't look at children as like being somebody someday.
No, they really
They
don't.
don't. Oh, they're children's. Oh, this is this. You know. Yeah.
And they don't invest. You got to invest time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, money with how we're living today.
Oh, it
with
costs
the
money. The older they
it
get, the
costs a
more
lot of-
expensive.
oh my goodness! For my 16-year-old, for him to play AAU in the spring, I paid $1,500.
$1,500.
$1,500 for him to play for Minnesota
Woo!
Select, and then for my 11-year-old, I paid $400 for him to play AAU Top Flight.
Wow.
So I'm investing, and I don't see it as wasting money. I'm investing
No.
into my kids
Yes.
for their future.
Yeah.
For them to better themselves, and then not only teach them how to play ball, teaches them discipline. How to discipline
I love
yourself.
that.
Like if you didn't,
Yeah.
so it's a lot. And supporting comes
Yeah.
a long way. too.
Definitely invest in your children.
Yeah, and
Yes,
I think that's
agree.
a lot of, where a lot of our parents lack that a lot too.
Mhm.
They don't support us. That's why a large.
It's like you're born.
community-
That's it.
Yeah.
You're just existing.
Yeah, and you just
Yeah.
kind of, and they work, and they don't barely pay attention to their kids.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of our youth, especially in Omaha, where a large of our community is there,
Yeah.
they are out there looking for love somewhere else.
They are
they're
in the
not-
wrong places.
Wrong places.
Yeah.
They don't have that love at home. They're not getting it from mom or from dad. Dad is somewhere in Africa with another family.
With another family.
And that messes your mind up. So where do you find love? Where do you find the support?
Yeah.
In the street, so.
All right, everyone. We're going to talk about this little part we just opened up for you in our last part segment of the show. So now we're going to go ahead and give you guys our last part of the show. And this part that we like to talk about, for past couple of years, there has been a huge death, toll of death in our community. Okay? And these are children. Children's either committing suicide or overdosing or, I don't know, some kind of situation. And where were these parents? These parents are mostly traveling to different states, doing missionary, going from different churches to different churches, while their kids is at home taking their lives. So we want to bring that little short part up. But yes, and I know Nyapai would know a lot more because since you grew up in Omaha and you kind of see the lifestyle and all that stuff going on. But yeah, as you were saying earlier, because like most of these kids, of course, in our culture, they are not trained or prepared for the world, and the parents don't give them the love that that they need, or even invest on their children's. Yeah. So where does that lead them in life?
Nowhere really, because if you don't invest, goes back to investing. If
Yeah.
you don't invest in your kids
Mm-hmm.
and train them, or not even so much train them, and encourage them to be someone
Encourage them,
in
yeah.
life.
That's what I was saying.
Someone,
Yeah.
important, or not even someone important. Someone that you're able to take care of yourself
Mm-hmm.
and your family.
Yeah.
If they don't give that, then the only other option is jail or gang. You know what I mean? And growing up in Omaha, I didn't really, it wasn't really as bad as it is today, over there.
No, I totally agree.
So it's really sad.
Because a lot of what made things bad a lot in our generation, yes, we party a lot. We didn't drink too
No.
much.
Mm-mm.
It was like, oh, if you only had one cup I don't even think we knew drinking that much. Like
we didn't drink.
Yeah, we didn't drink, you know?
We didn't drink at all.
But we would party hard like we were drunk, you know? That was the whole part of it. But now we hear from these children that have grown up after us, you know? Like last year, I think we lost about 2 children's. And, oh, we have some comments there. Gitu, thank you. Thank you. Continue to watch us. If you have anything to say, feel free to call in or comment, or you have any question for Nyapai that she can answer as well. Yep. So, and it's like, we lost about 2 to 3 numbers of lives, and these were kids that didn't even go to college yet. Like, they're just barely getting out of high school, you know? And most of them were like, you know, this tribe versus this tribe. And they're the same people, okay? Same newer people, this tribe, this, I don't know, the kids did something. They have like their own clique and this clique. And so one kid died in one of the clique. Now the other side is angry and they're trying to take down another body to revenge. And then they come back and take down another body to revenge. So it's been going like this, back to back to back, you know? To the point where now, instead of the parents investigating the problem or what is going on with these children, they're going at it with each other. Oh, we lost our child. This and this is going to happen. Like, they're cursing the other tribe. You know what I mean? Like, there was one parent, I think her son died, and she decided to just curse the other side and said, on the funeral day, I will wear red.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like it's a spiritual threat, you know? Wow. Yeah. Because you're allowing that spirit in you to overpower you more, to create more negative vibes, you know? You know? Parents should never have to be picking side or anything. They should always investigate what is going on with their children. And most of these parents, and a lot of these parents, there was a lot of engagement. There was a lot of weddings. There was just so many weddings in the whole year before, and engagement. Before then, there were so many baby showers, and then all the engagements, and then all the weddings. And through all of these celebrations that were happening and people are making as a tradition, they're forgetting their own children.
Yeah. Well, what are they doing to prevent that from happening? As a community, what are they doing? You know what I mean? Instead of worrying about engagement, or now they have something where you're celebrating your friendship with someone else. That's the thing. You know, how about you invest that time and energy into building our community, making it a better place for our kids to, you know, get along.
Because one thing I realized too, like, yes, they're supposed to be investing it onto their children, right? But they're investing on baby showers. You know? I had one altercation where I kind of got to know a little bit about it. I really had no idea they even invest on baby showers. They rent a venue. God knows how much they have to pay for that. And everybody pitch in a certain amount of dollars. And some of this I know from my designing experience, where somebody was like, oh, I can't pay you now because I have to pay at this so-and-so event. I'm just like, oh, don't worry, you know. When you're ready, that's when you're going to come pick up your garment. You know, so all like hundreds, 200, 300s are being thrown into these parties.
Right.
You know, and these parties are like mostly every month.
That's so sad.
So imagine how much money is going towards one person who is not even going around to help these kids to change the community. We even have like community tribes, and their leaders are the one who are just getting more wealthier. And they're not even sponsoring any of those money into those children's, or build a counseling center, or you know what I mean? There's so much that could be done.
Goes back to the community, but then the thing with that is we're so worried about gajuk. You know what I mean? Like we're distancing ourselves instead of working together. We're South Sudanese at the end of the day. We're one. You know, so I don't know. It's a lot of division going on, that's for sure. And it's not only affecting us as parents.
And
it's
you wonder, like,
kids.
will that division ever end? Like, are we going to wait until all these children have killed each other? You know? Or are we just going to say, oh, well, you know?
Yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah.
That's really sad. It breaks my heart.
It really does.
It really does break my heart. And
I know there was somebody that spoke to me in Ethiopia, and this guy, of course, you know, he's very intelligent. He's very smart over there, okay? You know, he said, all the young generations in America, how come none of them ever come visit back home? You know? And that, you know, of course, ring the alarm with that. A lot of our children are misled.
Yeah.
You know? They're going through a lot of battles with their own selves that they can't even battle for anything else. You know?
Absolutely.
And so that brings back the question how we can find a solution to that or how we can solve it. Because our elders or their parents, mom and dad, are now aged, so they can't do much anymore. The damage is already done and it can't be undone by them, you know? So people like you and me, or that are in the industry, that understands outside of the box, outside of the community, that have survived that lifestyle, and we have completely changed and overcome to everything, there's still a chance that we can go to them and help them out. That's the only way, you know? And so, other than that, it's just like the whole entire community is going down, and it's just getting worse, and it's only getting worse, you know? Yeah. Newer culture, newer beauty, newer people, it was just heartbreaking that they're dying here in America, they're dying in South Sudan.
Yeah.
We're not going to get wiped out.
At all. I think it all started with us too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it also
and there's only very few of us.
Yep, and it also started with the parents and their kids coming together and trying to figure out what the situation is.
Yeah.
Instead of the parents coming together and trying to figure out why so-and-so is getting killed or why so-and-so is dying. No, come together with these youth and talk about what the problem is. I know one of the problems would probably be parents not listening to their kids. If you come to your mom and say, hey, this is my problem, they're just going to think you're stupid. They're going to start calling you names.
And that makes it even worse. That makes it even more harsh, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's where they need to start. Be open-minded, you know.
And the way I feel about it, I feel like even if they start that, nothing is going to connect, you know?
Not right away.
Yeah.
Not right away, but I feel like if they
started... So, like, our parents would definitely have to put down their pride first.
Absolutely.
They would have to.
Completely.
But even just to get them to put down their pride, you know, because, like, our people were very, like, stubborn and very prideful at the same time. It's like what our dad knows is what he knows. You can't correct that.
Yeah.
You know? Like, they never apologize to their kids.
At all.
Never.
At all.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. At all.
Even if they are wrong, they will just...
Even if they know they are wrong, they don't. They don't. It's very hard.
That's the only expression they will give you.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you know you're wrong. Why don't you say it? They will never say it. You know?
Yes, ma'am. I know.
And the fact that they could be so hardcore on that is not going to help the children. You know? The children are just going to be like, whatever.
I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do because you keep doing you and I'm going to keep doing me.
And I see a lot of that arguments too in the family homes where, like, kids are like, you know, why are you talking to me this way? Or, you know, like, I'm just doing what I need to do, or you don't, it's none of your business.
Exactly.
Kids are talking back to their parents. Yes. And the parents are just taking that like, same reaction, you know? Yeah. And if they try to talk back to their children, it usually ends up being some kind of argument or a fight.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then after that point, then you're like, oh, you're misbehaving, you are disrespectful, you are not our child, we disown you. And now your child is gone and you don't even know if they're going to come back tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
The pride
That's
of the
really tough.
culture, really.
The pride of the culture.
I mean, only God knows if that will ever, you know, come down.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad I step away from that.
Yeah.
And build my own empire, kind of.
And I think that's what saved us.
Yeah, I think so,
is
too.
stepping away from that, because if we grew up in there at a certain age, we would be so bound to it that we would not even get out.
Exactly.
You know?
And
like, I even have some people ask me sometimes, like, oh, there's no other Nur people around here? Or, you know, even my own family back home, they're like, you need to get closer to the Nur people. I was like, I love them. I will see them once in a full moon. But I gotta stay in my own area.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's for a reason.
And that's for a reason.
It's not because you don't love your community.
Yeah.
But it's for a reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Same way here too. Like I like, there's so many times when people are like, move back to Nebraska. Bring the boys here. Bring the boys that. No.
You shouldn't be struggling by yourself.
No. Yeah.
All that stuff. Yeah.
But then as soon as you do that and listen to them and move there, you're struggling all over again, and they're there. They're closer now. So what are you doing? You know, I learned how to make decisions based on how it will affect my children. Now it's just me and my children.
And the more you do that, then the more you stay away.
Exactly. And the more you stay away, the more you become aware of
other things.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know, there's a saying in Ethiopia, a man who never left his country only knows what's in the country. But once you leave your country and you start seeing your surrounding of, you know, other countries and stuff like that, your mind starts to expand, and you want to know more. You're like, oh, I see this. Okay, now let me go see what else is beyond that, you know? That's the whole saying to that. So, you know, love your community, love your people, but still you want to put yourself first, you know? And it's a huge step. I mean,
love yourself.
That struggle is definitely worth it.
Oh, yes.
You know?
It's so worth it.
So
I'm so glad I went through the struggle. Because if I didn't, I don't know where I would be today in life, to be honest.
That's what I imagine sometimes. I was like, if I was raised in the community and still growing in the community, who would I be today?
Exactly. Would I even think about,
you know,
a business, running my own business, making my own money?
But the thing about community is about everybody knowing your business. You can't stand out alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so we're running on our last few minutes, so we're just going to give our last closing conversation. So, Nyapai, if you could give an advice or something that people would want to hear from you, what would you want to tell them?
I would say whatever it is you're going through right now, just know that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Always believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Also, always believe in God, and just keep pushing. Don't ever give up, or don't ever settle for less. Just keep pushing, and you will eventually get there.
Secret.
Yeah.
Faith.
Yeah. Yes.
God, faith.
Absolutely.
And faith is what got you this far.
Yes.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you have it, everyone. I hope, you know, this conversation about single parenting and raising children here in the diaspora reach out to as many people as possible, and also changing our children's future, helping them with their future, investing in them. If you missed it, please watch it so you kind of get the whole dialogue of the whole thing. So we definitely want to get this message out there, because we feel like a lot of children in our communities, or even in Africa, or especially the millennial age, who have been growing up with no parents, raising children on their own, is something very, very important that we want to create an awareness for. So, again, thank you for watching. And with my guest today, Nyapai Kek, she did a phenomenal job telling her side of the story.
Yes.
So, be fabulous. Take care of your babies. They are the future generation of your lineage.
Yes, ma'am.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Hot mixing.